Welcome to day 23.
Welcome to Emotions eCOURSE Day 23. Affirmations and their effects. It's human nature to want a fresh start, and so we commonly pledge to alter our ways for the better. Intentions to cause action are affirmed. The possibilities and the limits of affirmations are discussed here. Positive affirmations are certain to have the desired effect. What you give your attention to expands. Therefore, whatever you think about or visualize favorably will become real. Consider the statement, I don't want to be impoverished. Taking it as given that I am poor. We will be concentrating on the topic of poverty. The end result is empathy for and reflection about poverty. This means that the affirmation did have some effect, but not the one you were hoping for. Perhaps a more upbeat rephrasing is in order. Here's an example. I want to become wealthy. To presume I'm not wealthy. No one wants what they already have. In order to want something, you must realize that you do not currently own it. So, we are considering the statements. Did you catch this? We're not using words that we don't want to hear, right? We're using words that we want to hear, that we want to achieve our end goal. So, let us see. Extreme poverty is the main focus. As a result, I am not wealthy. The lesson here is to use the present tense rather than the future tense. The word desire and others like it should be avoided. How about I am wealthy as an affirmation? However, this is useless if you already have a lot of money, as you cannot become any richer than you currently are. It's a deception if you aren't wealthy. So obviously it doesn't work. Surely there is a more effective strategy. And when it is stated here that you cannot become any richer than you currently are, in a sense of you're using the word of where you see yourself right now. You see yourself wealthy, you will plateau and remain there. You see yourself rich, you will plateau and remain there. So we're going above and beyond, okay? That is what is meant there. Can we say, let's pretend I'm loaded instead? Take for granted that you have at your disposal all the things that you consider necessary to feel wealthy. Envision this is really taking place. Try to put yourself in their shoes. Enter that mental picture of yourself and take in the sights, sounds, and smells of affluence. Surely it's functioning well now, right? It's real. It doesn't foreshadow or declare any unfavorable future conditions, and it's happening right now. You have experienced what it is like to be a wealthy person, at least in your mind, and this is a tool you may use. You've made some mental adjustments, and it shows in how you now see the world. If you have a positive image of the future that you really desire and can identify with, then your creative energy will flow in that direction. Very potent material. Some people move by vision boards, others writing it down, others telling others about it. There are people around them. Sometimes all three. Sometimes are making videos, talking about it, recording yourself, reading about it, buying books about it, whatever it takes, get it done. Keep moving forward and upward. Every single item we encounter in life is a brand new creation, regardless of how inconsequential it may seem. However, we do not realize that we are making these original declarations. You can't even begin to imagine the number of them. It would be too much to even try to remember them all. For a sledgehammer to be effective in demolishing a wall, both the wall and the power necessary to smash it down must first be manufactured. We are simultaneously constructing a fortified barrier and generating an opposing force. It's possible that this is not the best course of action. Isn't that something? And it brings to my remembrance when I had relocated to Silver Spring, which is right outside of Washington, D.C. And if I turn the camera, you can actually, Washington, D.C. is right here. So I encountered and I met someone who was only shopping at thrift stores. In their mind, they could not perceive shopping anywhere else. It would just cost too much money. And they came from a mindset of struggle. They came from a family background of lack. And so the only thing up from that, the next thing were just like those charity shops, those thrift stores, or something given for free. So I hadn't generally shopped at Walmart in a long time. I hadn't bought anything or purchased anything at Walmart in a long time. It was just a mindset that I had. I just did not shop at Walmart. So I said, well, even if you begin to shop at Walmart, first I took them to Target. Target was a little more. So I ventured with them over into Walmart, and their life lit up, changed everything. It was like they didn't even know it existed. They knew Walmart was there. They knew everything, but they thought they were out of reach for Walmart. So in their home, everything was secondhand. Nothing was new. Everything still taped in the thrift store tape and marked with that black marker crayon or whatever pencil they use. But Walmart at least had the new smell, the new tags, and it was affordable and reasonable for this person's budget. I was so excited. And that goes further into my coaching. That is what I do. Sometimes it does require leaving me sitting at a computer. It does require me interacting and going out and abroad. Sometimes dealing with people's fears, we have to go walk around. We have to go into crowded areas. This is how hands-on coaching is and can become in certain instances. So nonetheless, to say the least, the person changed. And when I say change, that person began to manage their money differently, got a different job. And to this day, living in a house, the other place that they live had bugs. Making me even cringe. Little bugs and stuff. So bed bugs. This person was even being bitten by bed bugs and had no idea while they were waking up with blood bites and stuff like that, or blood on it. It was just a lot going on. But within June, July, August, within less than 2 months, it wasn't even 2 months. We started mid-June to end of July, the first thing of July, this person was moving into a new home. I'm telling you, within 3 weeks. So that was beautiful. They moved on. And to this day, they have a car. They've had two. This is the second car they've moved up. Even their car, they had a choice to buy two cars, either one newer than the other. And they took the one way back in 1998. And now they are driving, it may be a 2020, 2019 or 2020, maybe even newer than that. It's a very nice car. But since then, they've had one in the mid 2000s, and now closer to where we are now is what they are driving. I was just shocked just to see their transformation, as well as their relationships have changed. It's just a whole mindset overhaul. But their mindset has changed. They even live in a home, its own place, its own address. So I'm excited about that. I want to share that with you, that a mindset and getting around someone who actually believes in affirmations, believes in the power of the mind to believe what we say, not choosing words of that where we are, where we currently are, not in the where we want to see ourselves. So I really believe that. I hope you enjoyed that story, and I am so grateful for that person to this day. It is just amazing on how they have grown, like tremendously. So I am grateful for that. But let us move on. Using this as an example, it is important to remember that there are numerous affirmations we make simultaneously without realizing it, even when we affirm something with a focus on our competence and honesty. To find the truth, we typically create a complication and then attempt to make a force powerful enough to overcome it. When we affirm something, we may be doing it consciously, but our unconscious minds are simultaneously erecting obstacles or counter intentions that will prevent us from fully realizing our goal. Our prior selves may have mistakenly believed this counterintention to be a measure for our own protection or improvement. It might be as basic as a negative thought that we made under a stressful situation and now think about automatically. These unintended consequences may stem from preconceptions formed as a result of repeated exposure to harmful information throughout our formative years. Recognizing the counterintentions or hidden obstacles that you are setting at the same time as stating a good intention is, therefore, highly beneficial. What is it about your assertion that you don't agree with, want to forget, or suppress? Good question. Instead, then seeing your affirmations as an act of resistance or battling against some external force, you should see it as an outward flowing creation that encounters obstacles, hidden counter intentions. Once you have a clear picture of the obstacles standing in your way, you may let them go or, if required, modify your affirmation to remove the source of the internal strife. When affirming, it is recommended that you only use positive language rather than statements like, for example, this is only an example, I will not overeat, which the mind will interpret positively and lead to the result, I will overeat. That's why we don't use those words. However, why is it that negative self-talk, such as I will never succeed, is not interpreted by the mind as I will succeed? Why is that? Those contractions, those negative words. So in all honesty, the explanation is somewhat involved, but it's well worth your time to learn. The right brain, right side of the brain, which controls our emotions and by extension our motivation and action, which the universe reflects via the power of spirit, interprets our thoughts in terms of the underlying subconscious true feelings and as a result doesn't care whether we accept or reject them consciously. The right side, my goodness. Obviously, it doesn't pay attention to negations like not or never. But what's more important is that it interprets based on the actual beliefs at the level of feelings that are stimulated by the concept of what is being consciously thought, picking up on what most closely corresponds to the subconscious belief or feeling. So even though you're saying something, the right side of your brain is definitely picking up what is truly on the inside of you. You can say one thing, but you can't lie to yourself, your subconscious self, okay? Because our brains, you can't change them. It's how they're wired. And in doing so, there's a balance. So let's read about this left side brain, okay? Even if your rational left brain self knows it shouldn't, saying to yourself, I will not overeat, sends the message that you've already reconciled yourself to the idea that you could eat too much. You see that? The left side is just a rational side, right? It's rationalizing there. The affirmation encourages the desire to eat, leading to increased caloric intake. The more powerful statement would be, I shall eat what I want, as it doesn't go against the core idea and allows you the greater freedom of action. Isn't that something? Oh, I'm telling you. That alone, I love that. It gives me joy when I was reading and learning about the right and the left side of the brain. That was the most enjoyable reading I've ever endured. However, and it's all about the things that you say, what you feel and believe, things unconsciously in you that have been in there for a long, long time, right? What you've seen growing up is unconsciously still in you, right? So let's continue. It says, on the other hand, you can have a firm conviction that you'll never achieve your goals despite your best efforts to the contrary. If you use that as an affirmation, you'll give more credence to that belief, making it more likely that you won't achieve your goal. On the other hand, if your true beliefs is, I will succeed, then both affirmations, I will succeed and I will never succeed, will give you a boost of confidence. But if you keep repeating the negative one, your confidence in your ability to succeed may begin to erode from inside. Therefore, it's best to avoid negative affirmations wherever possible. But if you employ the affirmation, I will succeed, without first being aware of and reevaluating an internal sensation that disagrees with it, you're unlikely to find any benefit from doing so. That's good to know. Right? So the root of the matter is whether or not your affirmation supports your solid convictions. The real reason why affirmations don't always help is that they can actually increase inner conflict and serve to suppress the inner belief rather than resolving it. Did you catch that? However, when the inner belief is uncovered and it is genuinely discovered to be false, not rational, not helpful, not true, your own, then using an affirmation can help to keep in the place the revised belief. And this is where affirmations are indeed very helpful. Repeat, 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 repeat. Keep saying them. All right. So that brings us to the end. And what does God say about multiple streams of income? That is actually a free book. A free book over on my site, faithvisions.org. Go on over and download it. You may laugh like I did, but what God talks about money, what he says about you and money and your money. Amen. So head on over to faithvisions.org. There's always a link to my merchandise at alwonza.org. And in the book, I read where God has told us that we should have a minimum of 8 ways of making money. Definitely takes time. You have to put the energy in, but it's definitely worth having multiple streams. So as always, that brings us to the end. Visit alwonza.org to schedule a meetup with me for individual coaching to help you overcome any blockages and problems as they develop through this course. That's the end of day 23, and I will see you tomorrow.